guys, and welcome back. I'm Rachel O'Leary, and today we're out in my yard. As you can see, I've done quite a lot with the tubs. I am still waiting on some supplies to go over planting with you guys, so stay tuned for that. In fact, I may even put that on my second channel, Plantaholic. But for today, we're moving fish out because the weather is finally right. Now, generally speaking, I wait until the daytimes are in the 70s and the overnights are in the 50s for me to move fish out. This spring's been a wonky one. It was really hot early on, so my plants got a ton of growth, as you can see, from the greenhouse. But then it got really cold, and it's just been this week that it's appropriate. Now, generally, I move fish out around Mother's Day, so we're running just a couple weeks behind. So far, I've selected 13 or 14 species to move out, and I'll show you each of them and tell you what they are and why I chose them here in a minute. I bagged all of the critters up like I would for shipping, just so that I can float them into their bins and temperature acclimate them easier. I think it's going to be a really good season, and I'm pretty excited about it. So let's take a look at the tubs, and I'll tell you what I picked and why. This is the 40-gallon Tough Stuff tub that we did for our budget tubbing last year. I can put a link to that playlist. It has the DIY waterfall box, and I'm moving the Rosy Loaches and the Sparkling Gourami back in here this year. Now, this one is obviously not finished being planted, but again, I'm waiting on some supplies to come in to share that with you guys. But up top, we have Sunset Loosestrife and Black Taro, another Black Taro over here, and then there's a little water snowflake that gets really cute little white flowers. Now, this tub doesn't get quite as much sun, so I tend to not put plants that are super needy here. Oh, you can also see that it has quite a lot of creeping Jenny. And the Loosestrife is doing really amazing already this year. Those bright yellow flowers have been very rewarding. So I also still have to finish filling this tub, but it's got about 20 gallons of water in it, which is perfectly fine for the few fish I'm putting in there right now. I tend to like to let the tubs fill with rainwater if possible. Now, over here is another 40-gallon tub. Now, this one is a Rubbermaid one, and it's using just a little, that little solar air pump that's kind of anemic that I got last year. And I'm putting the pygmy sunfish into this tub because it's already colonized with young mosquito larvae, as I have not treated it with BTIs. And you can see there's a good amount of accumulated detritus on the bottom, which will help them out because they are extremely prey-driven, and they were looking a little thin, so they get this tub. Again, it's not done being planted, but it's warm enough for fish. Next door, we have one of the Laguna, I think they're 40-gallon tubs, and in this one is going to go CPDs. Now, this one has some driftwood in it too, just because it was in my way, and is planted with variegated water celery. There's some water lilies in here. There's some water hyacinth. There's some mini cattails, more creeping Jenny, and some of the azolla, the floating water fern. That stuff right there. Behind that tub is this one, which is getting the Daniocyathid, I think. Yeah. Behind that tub is this tub, and this is Louisiana iris, as well as more variegated water celery, water mint, creeping Jenny, a bacopa in a floating planter, as well as a variegated rush, more of the azolla, and more water lilies. Over here is my 300-gallon tub, which is where I put my mountain minnows that I've been breeding for many, many years now. They're the ones with the yellow fins. It is planted with all kinds of stuff, and it even has a carnivorous floater in there as well, which I showed you guys how to make last year with these floating baskets. Now, it's important to remember that carnivorous plants can only work in the rainwater. They probably won't work in your tap water unless it's really dilute. There's tons of water lilies in this tub, more of the azolla. I forget what this plant is, but if I can remember, I'll put a text box on the screen. But you can see, once my supplies come, I have a few more of those to plant up. The flowers have been really rewarding. And then over here are Daniochoprae going into this tub. This one has another carnivorous floater, some lizard's tail, creeping Jenny, water celery, and more lilies. And then this one has Bloody Dock, Water Mint, Pennywort, Creeping Jenny, another water lily, and that's getting those long, thin white clouds. And let's check the greenhouse. The biggest obstacle with the greenhouse is that it gets so hot. So last year I didn't get very good yield off most of the fish I put in here, but I did get exceptional yield from my shrimp. So far I've pulled shrimp to move out. In this first one, we have red Rilly shrimp. And these are just lightly planted right now, again, because I'm only working with stuff I had from last year. Then we'll have blue shrimp. This is the dwarf papyrus. That's more rushes. And there's some parrot's feather. Then we have cherry shrimp. That's more of the water mint. Some more of the mini cattail, water lily. Then we have yellow shrimp and a water lily and more of the lizard's tail and water mint and same plants that you've seen in all the other tubs. So far there's nothing in this one. This is my Azolla farm. I have to decide if I want to move anything into that tub. It's historically a pain in the butt to harvest from. Over here I put the least killies. This one is to be determined, this one is to be determined, and this one is my green shrimp. You can see what the cattails do as they hit maturity. They're really pretty cool. And there's lots of these irises everywhere because they do really well. So if you guys have any suggestions for the 3 tubs that aren't full of fish yet, or shrimp, let me know down in the comments. Specifically things that do well with profoundly warm water. Out here at the tubs, we're going to free some of the fish, but I wanted to show you real quick. On some of these tubs, I just zip tie the baskets to holes that I have drilled around the edges of the tubs. Now, drilling holes around the edges of the tubs also allows for them to overflow when times of profound rain. The Laguna bins are actually have a port there for aquaponics, so they can drain out that way, and there's a screen. In some of the tubs, I utilize landscape bricks to elevate plants so that they're at the appropriate water level. And I also utilize these floating planters that are made by Fluval. I really, really like these. They're much more stable than all the other brands. And I might do a product review on that for you guys. So again, if you're interested in that, let me know. Right now, I'm just gonna go around with scissors and cut open the bags and let all the fish free. Today, let me know down in the comments if you have any suggestions about the warmer water fish for out here in the greenhouse. I am pretty excited about this season, and stay tuned because I will either do a dedicated video on my second channel on how to plant the aquatic plants, and if I do that, I'll make sure to put a link on my community tab for you guys. As always, thank you for the continued support. Stay home, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.